Welcome to the Teacher's Compass podcast. I'm your host, Louise Schwartz, a former teacher turned life coach, and I'm here to offer guidance, direction and practical support for teachers and teaching assistants who are feeling overwhelmed or questioning their place in education. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Teacher's Compass podcast. How are you doing this week? I hope you've had a good week in school, and I hope you're looking forward to an enjoyable Christmas holiday period and all the fun and festivities that go with Christmas. Now, this time of year is exhausting for teachers. It's the longest term, with it being autumn term. I know the first half of the autumn term was an 8-week term. 8 weeks! Which feels crazy. That is such a long time, especially when the spring ones are always so short. But this is an exhausting time for teachers, and I know that a lot of you are going to be really struggling in the run-up to Christmas with just keeping your energy levels up and just keeping going. Which is why I wanted to talk to you on today's podcast about self-care and how that isn't a selfish thing to think about, how actually it is something that you should be putting at the top of your to-do list. And it's something that helps you as a teacher, but also helps your students. Because if you are on top form and you are feeling energised and ready to go, then that transfers into them, their day and their learning. So hopefully in this episode, I'm going to help you to think about the things that you enjoy doing for self-care, looking after yourself, and then hopefully encouraging you to timetable some of that into your week so that you can prioritise you and your health. So I think this word self-care gets sort of bandied around social media and around, TV and radio and things. And sometimes the first thing you think about when you hear that word self-care is looking after yourself is a little bit selfish, isn't it? Putting yourself first is a bit selfish. It's not something that you should do, putting yourself first. But I am here to tell you that it is okay to look after yourself, and it is okay to schedule in some time to your week for self-care. Whatever that looks like for you, for everybody, I think self-care is probably going to be something different because everybody enjoys doing different things. So some of you might enjoy going to watch a football game at the weekend. Some of you might like to go to the cinema. I like to sit and journal. That's something I enjoy doing. I also enjoy doing a little bit of crochet every now and again. So things like that are very different for everybody. But whatever it is that you enjoy doing, I think it's really important to have some time in your week to do those things. We all know how stressful school can get, especially this time of year. There's so many things to be done. There's deadlines coming up that you need to do in terms of work, assessment, data. All of that needs to be done. And at the same time, you've got Christmas coming up, so children potentially are going to be even more excited. If you work in a primary school, you might be working on nativities. If you're in a secondary school, you might be thinking about carol services or concerts or other things that happen at this time of year that are going to put even more pressure on your workload. It's acceptable to say, yes, I've got a lot of things on, I'm exhausted, and I need to make some time for myself. It is perfectly okay to do that. And actually, I would really encourage all of you to do that, to think about how you're going to carve that time out for yourself, what it is that you enjoy doing, so that you can actually spend some time doing that. And then that will help you to feel energized and feel positive because you've done some things in your week that you've really enjoyed doing. Think about your normal everyday. Okay, so Monday to Friday, you're getting up, getting ready for school. I think it's really important to just take 5 or 10 minutes in a morning before all the craziness starts to just find a little bit of time to think about what you're grateful for, what you've got that actually means the world to you, and focus on that to set you up for a positive day. So the first thing I always do in the morning is I get up and I go and take my dog for a walk. Now, when we first had the dog, nearly 9 years ago, it was something that I resented doing because it was just something else to add to the list of things that I needed to do. But actually, it didn't take me long to realise that little bit of time taking the dog out for a walk was a great opportunity for me to just get lost in my own thoughts and to think about what I'd enjoyed doing that particular day or week and what things I'd got coming up that I was looking forward to. And it just gave me a little bit of time to process my thoughts. It kind of forced me to do that because when you're walking the dog, unless you're walking with somebody else, there's not really anybody else to talk to, is there? Well, I do talk to the dog sometimes, but it doesn't really give me very much sense back. So actually having that bit of time to myself to just sit with my thoughts and think has been really, honestly, it's been brilliant for me. So I know not everybody has a dog, but you could set yourself up and just say, right, I'm going to go on a quick sort of 10-15 minute walk around the block in the morning, just to give me that time to find my thoughts, think about what I'm going to do today, what I'm going to look forward to, and to set yourself up with those sort of positive affirmations in the morning to get you going on your day. Now, after I get back from my dog walk, normally all hell breaks loose. It's crazy busy, the kids are doing breakfast, they're a bit older now, so they're getting themselves ready. But previously, that sort of time then when I got back from a dog walk just sort of started off the craziness. So which is why I always appreciate that little bit of time in the morning before everything gets a bit mad to just kind of have some time to myself and have a few thoughts to myself. So maybe tomorrow morning, when you get up in the morning, just give yourself an extra 5 or 10 minutes to just be with your thoughts, think about what you're grateful for, what things you enjoy, and the happiness that you've got in your life. Focus on those positive things as soon as you wake up. And it should give you a more positive outlook for the rest of your day. It could be worth doing that throughout your day as well. If you get just a couple of minutes in the day where you've got a little bit of time to just stop and think, even if it's just 2 or 3 minutes. So change over between lessons or whilst the children are out at break time. Instead of having that mad rush round, right, you've got to get to the photocopier or you just need to go in to speak to somebody, just give yourself 2 minutes. It's not a very long space of time, 2 minutes, but sometimes just giving yourself that 2 minutes to just be calm, be still and enjoy some peace gives you the rest of the day in a more positive outlook. It really helps me to just focus on what I'm happy about and what brings me joy. It could be at a lunchtime that you have a couple of minutes where you just go for a quick walk around the block. You might just pop out to your car for a couple of minutes sitting in peace and quiet. Doesn't have to be a very long time, but if you allow yourself just those couple of minutes, it sort of breaks the craziness of your working day. We all know as teachers that it's non-stop. As soon as you get in, you're literally on the go until the moment you leave or sometimes the moment you get into bed. Giving yourself just small little breaks throughout the day should sort of allow your mind to relax a little and have that peace so that you can go again. Try it tomorrow. Go for a walk around the block and just see if it gives you that feeling of relaxation in the middle of your day. Now, sometimes as teachers, one thing that we neglect is food and drink. Okay, quite often, do you make a cup of coffee first thing in the morning and then by break time you think, oh gosh, I've made that coffee and it's gone cold? I never think that because I don't drink coffee. But I always made sure when I was teaching that I had a water bottle with me, especially as a music teacher. If you're singing, even as a teacher of any subject, when you're talking all day, you need to make sure that you're looking after yourself and you're staying hydrated. So if you don't have a water bottle, put one on your Christmas list so that when you are in your classroom, you've always got access to a drink of water or a drink of squash, whatever you want to have, but just make sure you're looking after yourself and you've got that drink with you so that you can stay hydrated. I know sometimes that means you're going to have to pop to the toilet, but shout somebody next door to just come and kind of look in on your class or ask your TA, can I just pop to the toilet? It's okay. You're allowed those couple of minutes. But make sure you look after yourself. Do you take time to sit and eat lunch? I'm guessing most of you have just said no. Some of you might say, well, sometimes. But I know a lunchtime break for a teacher is quite often catch-up time. So you're catching up from what's happened in your morning sessions and you're getting ready for what's going to happen in your afternoon sessions. But it is okay to say, I'm just going to have 10 minutes to sit down and eat my lunch. You don't have to spend your entire lunchtime working. Prioritise what needs to be done during that time. Get that done, and then make sure you've got time to sit and eat your lunch. Okay? It is not healthy to ignore what your body's asking for. It needs food for energy. And if you don't give any food at lunchtime to your body, by the time you get to the end of the day, you are going to have run out of energy and there's not going to be anything left. So make sure you carve out that time in your lunch break to sit and eat your lunch, whatever that may be, whether it's a sandwich or a salad or a pasta, whatever you've got for your lunch, sit down and enjoy it instead of constantly getting that work done during your lunch break. Take your time to sit and eat. Something else you can do in your day-to-day life is to have a stop time. So if you stay at school to get all of your work done, give yourself a time where you're going to leave by. Okay, so today I need to get done X, Y, Z. I'm going to be leaving at the very latest by this time. If you set yourself a time and stick to it, it will allow you to realise that the time after that is for you. You get to do whatever you want to do without that worry of, I've still got to do that. I've still got to do that. It'll always still be there. All of those things on your to-do list aren't ever going to get ticked off. But if you can set yourself a time limit for when you're going to complete your work, it will give you that sort of freedom of mind to know that work's finished now and I can enjoy the rest of my day. Same at the weekend. If you need to spend some time at the weekend getting work done, which we all know happens, give yourself a time limit. So I'm only going to get work done in this period of time here, whatever that may be, however that fits for you and your family at the weekend. But don't let that time get longer and longer and longer. Okay? Only work the times that you've set and stick to them. I always found it difficult to fit in any physical exercise while I was teaching because I just sort of thought, I don't have time. It doesn't have to be an hours long workout. But maybe when you finish school and you've got to your time limit and you've said, right, I've finished now, enough is enough. Maybe just go out for a little bit of a walk. A 10-minute walk will clear your mind and will give you a space to exercise your body and get out any of that tension that you might be feeling so that you can enjoy the rest of your evening doing whatever it is that you want to do. I also find that sometimes when I get into bed, if I've done a little bit of exercise and I've been for a walk, it helps me to relax and I definitely sleep better. So if something like that helps you to sleep better, timetable it into your day. Sleep's just as important as the food that we eat or the choices that we make. Having enough sleep allows your body and your mind to function at optimum levels. I never used to sleep that well when I was teaching. Very rarely would I get more than sort of 6 hours of sleep, which for me, I found that isn't enough. I need 7 to 8 hours sleep to be able to function and not feel exhausted. So one of the things that I've stopped doing is checking my phone when I go upstairs to bed. So I quite often sit in an evening, we watch the telly and I sit and play on my phone. I'm checking social media, I'm on Pinterest, I'm doing different things on my phone whilst we watch the telly. But when we go upstairs, I plug my phone in, I put it face down on the bedside table and then I don't look at it again. I've been reading a book at bedtime, which has really helped my mind to relax and also has meant that my sleep is better now than it ever has been, which is great. And it really does make me feel like I'm energised in the morning because I've had enough sleep. I'm not very good at reading more than a couple of pages though. I tend to read maybe 3-4 pages and I can already feel my eyes are getting heavy and I'm falling to sleep. But that little bit of time where I'm not on my phone and I haven't got that kind of buzz of blue light energy going through my eyes and through my brain, it just allows my mind to switch off. So have a think about your bedtime routine. If you're not getting enough sleep, could putting your phone on charge downstairs be an option to take that distraction away? Reading a book at bedtime is by far a better way to relax and to let your mind relax in order to get a good night's sleep. Now, sometimes making these changes to your everyday life can feel a little bit kind of overwhelming because there's so many things that you want to change. Something I've learned about this year is habit stacking, where you combine a new habit with an old habit that you've got. And then when you are doing the two together, the new habit automatically becomes another habit in your daily life because you've stacked it on top of another habit. So an example of this is like I've just talked about with my phone. My new habit is not to look at my phone when I get into bed. So what I try to do is when I get into bed, plug my phone in, I turn it over so that I'm not tempted to look at it and it's something that's done and it's finished and I've put it down. Now, I guess you could say I probably should charge my phone outside of the bedroom. A lot of people do that these days. I tend to use my phone as an alarm to wake me up in the morning. So I do need my phone next to my bed. Maybe I should go back to one of those old-fashioned 90s alarm clocks by the side of the bed that you have to smack the button on the top when you want it to turn off. But trying to stack those habits together really helps because it's something that you do. So getting into bed at a bedtime, I put my pajamas on and I get into bed. That's my habit. So plugging my phone in and turning it over and not looking at it once I've got into bed is my new habit. Is there something you can do this week to build a new habit that you could stack on top of an old habit? Over time, all of these little things that we do to take care of ourselves then add up to long-term self-care. So if you can focus on looking after yourself a little bit each day, then you think about that over the course of 6 months, how much time you'll have spent looking after yourself and working on being a happy person, being a fulfilled person, and being a person that's got the energy and the positivity to carry on in that classroom, giving those children the best education that they can get. All of those little habits are really going to help you to be that awesome teacher that you are. At the moment, you're probably just feeling like you're an exhausted teacher. But if you can work on looking after yourself, even if it is just taking 5 or 10 minutes for yourself in the morning, or stacking those habits and making a new habit that will look after you and give you the time that you need, all of those things are definitely going to help you moving forward to be a happier person. So what are you going to do for yourself this week? What is one new habit that you're going to see if you can build into your day that takes care of you? So one thing that I'm going to work on is filling in my journal in an evening. So instead of sitting on my phone whilst I'm watching the telly every night, I'm going to make sure that in my journal, I've filled in what I've done on that day, what I've been thankful for, what I've enjoyed doing, and to express that in a way that makes me remember just how many awesome things I get to do in my day. So I'm going to fill in my bullet journal and I'm going to write down my thoughts and I'm going to have that as my new habit sitting on the sofa in an evening instead of playing on my phone. What's your new habit going to be this week? Let me know on whichever social media channel you use, whether that's Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. Let me know what your new habit's going to be this week. That's going to be your self-care habit for this week. Looking after yourself is something that takes time and takes some getting used to. But if you can just take a couple of minutes each day to do something for yourself, then over the course of time, you will be able to see a difference in your positivity and the way that you approach tasks and the way that you are as a person and as a teacher. So think about those positive things. What are you going to do to look after yourself this week? Let me know. Right, have a good one and I will speak to you again really soon. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning in to The Teacher's Compass. If you found this episode helpful, click on the link in the show notes for some more resources and support. Don't forget to leave a review on whichever app you choose to listen to us on. Your feedback helps us to reach more teachers just like you. See you next time.